I just finished patch 7.3 of Final Fantasy 14 titled Promises of Tomorrow, and man, what a quest chain. I love me a good story arc and I love me a good quest chain, and 7.3 hit all of those highs for me. I think this entire story beat about the Alexandrians struggling with the concept of mortality has been interesting to say the least, because they were immortal at a certain point, but at the cost of forgetting they're dead and using their souls as living batteries to keep going. FF14 is weird as hell in the best ways possible. You got to take my word for it. Alexandrians as a people have been someone whose lives have been shaped around death and what that means to them. So of course they're going to freak the hell out when they're faced with the idea that they can die and they don't know what's at the end of death, like most of us. And this is when you get characters like Calix, who's essentially been like this foundational pillar of Alexandrian society, who's been, pulling the strings in the background, this group called Preservation. He believes that humanity's potential shouldn't be bound by our bodies that can grow old and wither away and decay. So what Calix does is he promises 5,000 people immortality in the digital afterlife. Once again, Final Fantasy 14 is weird in the best ways possible. While there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of other citizens still struggling with the idea of mortality. So what he ends up doing is he ends up rigging all of the like security bots in the civilization to attack citizens. And when he kills the citizens, he drains them of their ether to continue to supply the people that he's going to make immortal. It's crazy. What I liked most about this expansion is on the other end, while the Alexandrian society is essentially having this mass hysteria moment over the idea of death, you as the player work with like a ragtag group of resistance members called Oblivion to figure out what's going on. And during that investigation, a character in that group dies. And all these members of Oblivion are a part of Alexandrian society, but they don't use the Neo regulators. They don't want to be immortal in that way. And when one of these members dies, the characters who are closest to him, they have a very sweet and somber moment remembering his existence, remembering who he was, cherishing the entire life they had with him, and it refueled their reason to keep going. And this is a big thing because in Alexandrian society, if you were to die, the memory of you, the idea of you would be wiped away from everyone's subconscious. And essentially, your soul, all your happiest memories get sent to a digital landscape, and your soul is used as a battery for other people. When they die, they can just come back. But they forget that you died in the first place. So, this entire idea of like life and death and what it means to live in spite of death and know that people around you are going to die and still choose how you remember them, choose how you carry on their will, how you live with that. I think it was all handled really well. And it culminated into a really cool boss fight with Necron from Final Fantasy IX. And if you know about Final Fantasy IX, that game is entirely about death. Good shit, Final Fantasy 14. Wow. Can't wait to play the rest of the patches.